All right, here we go. Late night happy hour on a Tuesday night. Adam looks like a bundle of energy, but I think we have some things that are going to get him going, and he's had a busy day, so he can tell us about his day as we load up the chat room. We'll let Adam tweet out our heads up tweet. We're up on. Thank you. We're up on at Steve Cofield. We're up on Steve Cofield Facebook. And we're up on YouTube. If you miss the show in the future, we're also audio podcasted at Spotify, iHeart, and a few others as we continue to work on availability. What's up, Juice LV?
What's up, sir?
Jay Lawrence. Adam needs an espresso. I like to call it an espresso. The express train to hyperness. So Adam's day, did it start as it always does? You got up early to go and test with the Raiders, and then what?
Yeah, multiple Raiders, and then testing at UFC this morning so that I could cover the fight tonight. So a full quarantine day. After when you get a UFC test, you have to stay in the hotel all day, awaiting the results. So got that done. Got the UFC card covered.
40 plus test or like 38, 39?
44 now.
44.
Counting down to 50. Getting close.
Yeah. America's most tested human being. I feel extremely safe, except that I'm not quarantined. So, unfortunately, Adam is going to eventually get it because of me. Or Ari. Ari could be a wild man and we don't even know it, right?
Anybody could.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to get to the Knights and their victory after 11 because Ryan McKinnell's going to join us. But the beginning of the show is mostly going to be the Raiders because Adam Candy and I on the radio show went through the weekend and I tried to explain it and I was like, I don't know, man. These are the kind of days where I don't really like covering a local pro sports team because I think there's a lot of unanswered stuff behind the scenes and I don't feel like I'm in the know on what the frig just happened. So we'll get to Mariota. We'll get to some of the roster changes. Oh, look at Bischoff's already in. And we'll get to Tyler Bischoff being attacked by a portion of Raiders fans. As we said on the air today, Tyler made the mistake of tweeting out malicious facts. And then eventually the request came that the local media is supposed to cover the Raiders a certain way. So we might have problems. I'll just say that. I think the craziest thing of the weekend with the Raiders was Lynn Bowden Jr. And I'm not saying getting rid of Lynn Bowden is going to break the organization, that they made a terrible mistake, but the timing of it and then some of the words after it are really weird to me. Is there nothing to see here, Adam, or what exactly just happened? They just moved their third round pick, one of them in this last draft, got a lower pick, and that took all of, really being around him for like 6-8 weeks max. And I think I'm being nice there. Yeah. How do you come to a decision this quickly?
When you say, is there something there? Like, yeah, there's something there for sure.
Right.
I think there's multiple ways to talk about it and to digest it. But I will say, like, and we do this all the time, but it is kind of an important part of this, that these are the kind of days, or these last 2 days were the kind of days that would be really, really helpful to be in the locker room, where you can go around, you can talk to guys, you can be at their locker, you can have this normal conversations, and like this is what goes on in locker rooms where reporters are there, and you're like, hey, what's going on with Lynn? And you can still reach out to guys. Like I had, some text conversations with some players, but like they're much more guarded, much less likely to say anything if you're texting as compared to, being around them, sitting at their locker and having a conversation. And so you don't really get that full insight into exactly what was going on in the locker room. I'll say a couple of things. First of all, the Mike Mayock, this is a football decision only. I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true. I don't think it's true, but I really hope it's not. It's a guy that you drafted to move to a different position. You've said nothing but over and over again how difficult it is to change to a new position and to also do it in this, coronavirus year where you didn't have any OTAs, you didn't have any mini camps, you didn't have guys in the building at all. So you're trying to teach a guy a new position, and you're going to trade him before training or before his first game for not learning the position or for not looking like you can learn the position. That's preposterous. If that's the case, why did you draft him? Like, that's on you, right? Like, what are you doing? So to me, it's definitely far more than a football thing, even though that's what Mike Mayock said.
Let me throw up Trees and ODB's comment here. He's just saying what he has to for the media.
Right.
Why did he have? But why did he have to say that for the media? What came before Mike Mayock spoke on Sunday?
What came before it?
Did Tafer's comments or Tafer getting comments from some of the organization come before Mayock? What was the order of this thing?
So I don't know exactly. I have a feeling because we got the same comment from a Raiders source that wasn't not in the Raiders building, but a source close to the team.
So now we explain to people how this goes down, because you remember the UNLV source that convinced some of the media, mostly people who are not paid, who were doing it for free, that UNLV had targeted a certain coach, and everyone was lots of people running with it, and they're coming at you, me, and others, and they're like, "It's done. Why aren't you guys going with this?" Right. So we know more than you do. It was one person feeding you Thad Matta, and you ran with it, you dumbasses.
And in the case of that, where there was a lot of misinformation going around, Thad Matta had a deal where he had to be in the mix. He had to be pursuing jobs every year in order to keep getting paid. So there was a strategy of feeding out information that he's close to a job and trying to get anybody to run with it. And then he could just go and be like, "Hey, look, I'm trying. I was in the mix of UNLV. Like, well, I almost had the job. Just keep paying me."
Never in the
so
mix.
That was part of it.
Never in the mix. One person emailed or reached out to multiple bloggers and different radio hosts and some people in print, and those people ran with it. He was never in the mix.
And it was a running joke in the media world at that time, where the same person, it wasn't just with Mata, there was multiple steps along the way where he was feeding information.
And the person keep going.
No, to multiple people, and we would sit there and watch. And like, we wouldn't run it as people that have to double and triple check and verify and all these things. We wouldn't run it, but we'd get the information, and then we'd look on Twitter, and we would see out blogger after blogger after Twitter user put up this information as like, my source says this, and you're like, yeah, we heard the same thing. We vet it, and it's not right. So you're just putting these things out, and you would just watch this happen. You would watch the information trickle out from this one person, spreading it out to everybody like they had their own individual source, and then coming after us as media people saying, "Well, you guys are way behind. You don't know this." Like, we do know this. We know where it came from. We're not putting it out.
Not true.
So that's kind of how that works. So in this case, I don't know if Vic had the same source, but it was kind of the same information.
Yeah.
That we got.
What did Vic put out? What did you guys hear? What was the same information?
Essentially, that Lynn Bowden was not a fit, off the field. It was not a fit on the field or off. And in particular, off the field, Lynn Bowden was more interested in being a superstar than an actual football player, and was interested in cars and nightlife. And you get that with a lot of guys, of course. There's plenty of people like that, but their worry was that he could potentially influence other young players on the team, to where like everybody's kind of on the same page, except, hey, if this guy is going to be, not only doing his own thing, but also influencing other guys to be, running along with him, then maybe it's not right. And, we have talked about this. I don't want to go down this road necessarily, but I think it's something to think about when we talk about Vegas. And, one of the things we've heard is some people can handle it, some people can't. And I think maybe there was some concerns of how is he going to be in terms of fitting in Las Vegas. Now, is it going to be much better in Miami? I don't know. But I think to say that it's a football-only decision is completely disingenuous, but at the same time, you understand why you're saying that, right? I mean, hey, listen, we realized that he wasn't going to be ready. This is a team that wants to take the next step now. We're not about developing guys for the long term. We're about trying to win right now and do what we can right now. And
Wait a
he's
second.
so far away.
Wait, what?
He's so far away that
Hold what?
no, they're not saying that. I'm saying like
Okay.
it's an easy way to just write it off.
Right. But that's not the Raiders. The
Of
Raiders
course
have
not.
all the time in the world to stash a guy.
Of course.
Did Lynn Bowden convince Ruggs to buy a Corvette and a Mustang?
I mean,
Is that the bottom line? Because I see like Leo Stat says, perfect, get him out. I mean, come on. We believe everything that's been said, or the stuff that's been fed to the media. And if it's perfect, get him out, then don't we have to go back to the draft and go, why did you draft him? How did you not know this? Did you see who else went in the third round after him for your defense that needs help? Some other really good prospects? Like this is not just I suppose we can watch, and if Bowden turns out, we're not going to know on Lynn Bowden for like 4 years. But we definitely have to track the guys who went, I don't know, 82 to like 115 in the draft and see if there were any defensive gems in there that actually could have helped on the 2 deep. This is a bad mistake. It's a bad mistake, and there's no winning this one. If it's a character issue, that's a bad look. If it's not a position fit, my God, you knew there was a pandemic going on. You knew you were, as Adam said earlier, you knew you were changing his position. Then don't draft him.
Right. Well, I guess here's one thing I'll say, and this is not Mayock saying it. This is just me observing the whole process. Like, if it is a character issue, let's just assume that that's what it is, because football related makes no sense. If it is a character thing and there's concerns about how he influences other guys, like this is a year that you are not allowed to go out and like sit down and have dinner with the players. Get to really be around them. You could Zoom and all those things, but I go back to, and this was like, I'm not saying he's saying it about him. I'm just saying in general. I had a conversation with Mike Mack a couple weeks ago, and he said his philosophy is like any team out there can look at 40 times and vertical jump and shuttle run and all those things. Like anybody can do that. You don't even have to go out. Like you don't even have to scout guys. Like you just get that information. Like, okay, this is what the guy is as a player. Mike Mayock said, I like to smell the grass. I like to be there. I like to be on the field. I like to go to dinner with a kid. He's like, I'd rather go to dinner with a guy for an hour than watch him practice for an hour. Like that'll tell me a lot. But you couldn't do that this year. You didn't get any of that. So Mike Mayock's not going to say that. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but I will say that was part of this year, right? Where you could not have that face-to-face time. You could not sit down. Now, I'll also, on the other side, say that, and this is a very anecdotal thing, but I was working on a story about Lynn Bowden a couple weeks ago. Actually, I guess maybe more than a month ago now. And trying to talk to some people around him, both in high school and college, and just, tell his story. And every time I asked a question about him, they would turn it back to football. Everyone I talked to. Which I told my editor at the time, well, that's not a good sign.
I mean, they raved about most of the rookies. Christ, Javen White. They couldn't stop talking about the guy. We never heard anything about Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's something deeper than that something happened, or there's multiple incidents, or the thing that never got covered. Didn't he get in a little bit of trouble in Youngstown after he got drafted? And I didn't see any sort of follow-up on that. So there's a lot more to the story.
Well, he technically didn't get in trouble that day, just to be fair. I mean, everybody's pointed it out. There was a photograph of him sitting handcuffed in the front yard of a relative's house, according to him and everyone around him. And the police there was nothing from the police either.
All right.
But essentially, that was, a house was being searched. He was there, and that was just standard procedure of, hey, I was just staying here with my kid. He had his kid there, and they were just putting everybody in the front yard to check the house. So I don't think you can necessarily judge off that, but that was something that happened since he was drafted.
I mean, the other weird thing was the line from Vic, and apparently you guys got something similar, where it said he enjoys what was it? It wasn't collecting cars. How do they put it? Like picking up cars over picking up the playbook.
Yeah.
Which again, that is fascinating because, to my knowledge, there was only one guy that they went like crazy over when it came to his football acumen, and it was Lynn Bowden. You remember the story, right? They have him at Pro Day, and they're like, yeah, you know how John did the TV show, John Gruden? Yeah, he has Lynn Bowden go to the board, and Bowden just freaking nails the board. So it went from, that was one of the reasons they drafted him, because he loved football so much, and he was quick, to he couldn't pick up the playbook. Now, again, I think a lot of this probably did happen, but yikes. That's it? Yeah. Pull the plug? Over? So now this is where we're going with this. What do you want from us? What do you want? What do you want? What kind of coverage do you want? Because this is what Adam and I are going to do. And we're seeking answers. Adam is especially seeking answers because he's got to be out there every day. He's got to maintain relationships. So he's not going to be a horse's ass. But I also don't think you're just going to sit there and just go with the party line. You're going to be cynical. You're going to ask questions. There's a bigger story around every NFL team. Is that what you want? Or do you want what unfolded over the weekend, which was a few dozen Raiders fans getting all over Bischoff because Bischoff tweeted out some facts? I mean, that was just silly what unfolded. You saw it, right, Adam?
Of course.
Let me pull up. I'll just read you. Tyler sent out a tweet. Last year, the Raiders defense ranked 24th in points allowed, 25th in yards per play, 31st in DVOA. Mike Mayock and John Gruden only got one player to help the defense with their first 5 draft picks in 2020. That is a strong opinion. That is a take. Let me read that again. His opinion. They're all facts. Everything he wrote there is a fact, right? Factual.
Sure.
So what's the problem?
Well, it's, I mean, I have no problem with it at all. Zero. I guess the argument that you can make is they invested very heavily in trying to fix the defense before the draft, and that's why they didn't address it in the draft. Would be the argument that they would make to counter that. And again, Tyler knows what he's doing with these tweets. Like you're not going for. They only addressed the defense with one of the picks, although they did invest heavily in free agents. That's not the point of a Tyler Bischoff tweet.
Not the tweet. It's actually the response that did elicit the response. Hey, like you just said, hey, but they took care of it in free agency, and then the debate can move to, well, did they, or should they have drafted more defensive players? That's all open for debate. And then one of the cats, who's a big Raiders fan, Cody, then said, let me introduce you to Tyler Bischoff, radio host for ESPN Las Vegas, clear Raider hater with little to no knowledge of this football team. Stuff like this really strikes a nerve with me. I suggest not flipping to this radio station during his morning show. So there was a slew of make sure you listen to Raider Nation Radio instead of ESPN Las Vegas. Let me introduce you to the sports radio stations at Lotus Broadcasting. We've got Raider Nation Radio. We've got ESPN Las Vegas. We've got Fox Sports Las Vegas. So you're doing nothing to hurt Tyler by listening to Raider Nation Radio.
No.
Zippo. You go to that station, it helps all of our bottom lines, and we stay in existence. The other theme was, you see it here, Raider hater. So do we need everyone in the market on TV and radio and newspapers and blogs to be over the top positive about the Raiders? Is that what people want?
I mean, I think it could be argued that they do. I mean, I've dealt with this as, being the realist, objective person trying to cover the Golden Knights for 2 years, which was, it's only supposed to be positive all the time, nothing bad ever, and spin things positively, which I don't understand the point of that. I think when things are going really well, you need the realistic voice, and then when things are going very poorly, I think you need the realistic voice even more to be like, yeah, listen, like it's not going well, but it's not the end of the world. Here's what the positive things are. I think there needs to be a more moderation of some of this, because I think the fan attitude is, You lose one game and the world is over, and you win one game and all the woes are fixed. And I think that's the emotional range that fans kind of want to some degree. And if they do lose, it's the official's fault, or it's this fault, or they just ran out of time, or whatever spin you want to put on it. But it's just that's how fans see it, and that's not the kind of the role of the media is to kind of point out the reality of the situation more so than the emotion of it. But I think there is some degree of fans wanting the emotional part. They want you to be emotional. They want you to feel what they feel. It's not really our job, but it also is our job to get people to read it, and that's kind of where things are, divergent.
So you're walking a fine line. So do you go full athletic, or do you hold to your newspaper journalistic standards? Not the easiest call. One person says of Tyler's tweet listing numbers and facts, this is called opinion-based journalism rather than fact-based. It was 100% fact-based. It's been a long-running theme in town where the local guys dislike the home teams and actively root against them. All the local guys root against the local teams.
Wow.
Is that right?
If he is supposed to cover the team.
I wish I loved Las Vegas as much as many people up on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I showed it. I wish I would wear gear. Yeah. Now I do try to go down the middle on most cases. I think I'm decently objective. But they also have to realize what they're walking into here. This is unlike any other NFL market. This is not a startup franchise. It's not an expansion team. There are a lot of people here who don't like the Raiders. And not to say we're going to slant coverage one way or the other to please them, but it's going to be down the middle. Donnie up here says that sucks. If he's supposed to cover the team, he needs to be pro-Raiders. He clearly is either too immature to do his job or he hates the team. Either way, he needs to go. Do better, ESPN Las Vegas.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong?
That's just awful. I'm actually trying to find that tweet so I can respond to it, too. That's just it's an ignorant way to look at things, but sadly, yes, exactly, Brady. There is a large element, I think, of people that want that. I mean, it's not just in sports either. It's obviously in real world journalism too, where people want stories that back up what they believe or what they feel, and if it's not what they feel, it's fake news. By the way, we've said it before. Fake news is not something that's not true. In 99% of cases, it's I don't want you reporting about that. Like, I don't want to hear that. It's true, but I don't like that. Is what fake news is, and you get it in journalism too. Like you just said, that's opinion-based journalism, not fact-based. No, that's exact opposite. He literally just tweeted out a fact. So stupid.
John Lynn says ESPN 1100 shouldn't change much. Leave that to Raiders Nation Radio. Yes, that's why the station is here. You do notice all the stations have different types of lineups, right? Yes. And believe me, I want the Raiders to do well. I hope it's a good story. I don't, there's nothing worse than having local pro sports teams that are, freaking 4-12 every year. It gets old. It gets tired. The stadium will be a waste of money. Yeah, I'm rooting for a good story. This one's interesting from, where is it? Gil the Thrill. It's probably in your best interest because business-wise, to root for the teams. Nah, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Why are the clients who are gonna jump on board Raiders fans?
No, but I think, I don't know if this is what he's saying, but to me, it is the dilemma, right? Where, as a journalist, as somebody who covers a team, as somebody who covers sports, you're not supposed to be pro or con. You're supposed to just tell what happened, what's going on, try to get to the bottom of the story, tell people what's happening, and do it without emotion, and just do it with, hey, this is what's going on. But there is an element of fandom, and I think it's a growing element that doesn't want that. They want cheerleaders, and they want to hear it from people that are supporting the same thing they are and are, as in their feelings about it as they are. And so, if you're trying to cater to those people, then you probably should be very pro. I'm not in that camp. I think you should be doing your job,
Mm-hmm.
and you shouldn't be worried about how many people, follow you or click on you or all those other things. I think you just do your job the best you can. But there's also a corporate reality in the world that if people want very pro coverage and there's a place to get it, they're going to go there and they're going to find it.
Yep. And there's also, there's the other thing that'll be tricky, and that is Lotus is the play-by-play home of the Raiders, so you got to manage that relationship. Just like over the years, we've had to manage the UNLV relationship, and you got to manage the Golden Knights relationship. So there's, it's not the ideal journalism standpoint, but yeah, I think fans should want lots of options, as someone was saying earlier, and Lotus has provided that, right? If you don't like Cofield and company, then you can listen to Vinny. He does an awesome show. He's as connected as anyone covering the Raiders. If you want more hockey coverage, then go listen to Ryan Wallace and Darren Millard, right? And you can hear the rest of the Fox Sports lineup before that. So I think we give options, and I tell people all the time who are like, I'm done listening. I'm like, okay, great. The show's not for you. Go try somewhere else. Or, people will say, hey, I like the objectivity. I like that you'll be harsh or happy for local teams when it's called for. So real interesting. And we knew this was coming. And there's going to be a split. There will be a split in the media, and there'll be media members who are very enticed by, fans loving him and saying other media members are shit. So that's what happens when you have more teams and you have major league teams coming to a market. So
yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
We're going to find it more and more.
Yepers. All right, how about the Mariota story? What are we talking about here? At first, it was an undisclosed injury. Then again, did someone leak the pec injury to Rappaport?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
I still don't know how true it is.
Okay.
I believe it's there, but I think it's more they're buying time more than anything. Like, I think I said, I think I told you for sure, but I also think I said it on a couple podcasts for the last couple weeks that there's no chance that going into Carolina, week 1, if Derek Carr gets hurt during the game, there is no chance they can put Marcus Mariota in the game. None. We didn't see every second of practice. We saw enough. He was not ready to play a football game. And whether that's because, it's an extensive playbook that he's learning, whether it's a confidence issue, which I think is possible, whether it's, they're trying to remake him, which is part of what they were saying, that they're trying to rebuild him as a quarterback in terms of motion, in terms of all that stuff. For whatever reason, he wasn't ready. And he wasn't going to be ready week 1. He just wasn't. So I think there's definitely some issues there. There's been some injuries throughout camp to deal with. But to me, it's all right, let's put him on IR. Peterman will be the backup. We'll continue to work with Mariota, get him ready. And then, the assumption would be he'll get healthy and be more comfortable at some point down the road. But right now, there wasn't any way to me they could put him in a game.
Nathan Peterman, though, huh?
Yep. Well, and Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you're a tried and true Raiders fan and you're not worried at all about Nate Peterman being the backup, because one thing, out goes the window, the notion that, hey, you know what? We want Derek Carr to show his athleticism. We want him to make plays with his feet. You're not doing that right now?
No.
Can you risk it?
I wouldn't want to.
Right?
Yeah, I'd be worried about it.
Yeah. What's all the cap room for? They moved from whatever it was, around 6.5 to like a little over 9. What is it for? Is there some player we're missing? Is there some trade on the way?
I mean, is it possible they're talking to Earl Thomas? Or I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to compare the two because one's never played in the NFL and may not be an NFL player. The other one obviously is an all-pro level player, probably fading a bit at this age, but they just cleaned up an attitude issue with Lynn Bowden. Well, they didn't say that directly.
No.
And they're going to bring in Earl Thomas?
Well, there's not many guys out there on the market. I mean, unless there's a trade that you're trying to work with somebody.
Right.
Yeah, it would make some sense that they're trying to create room. I think at least create some flexibility, at least, looking around, like, could they have been in the Clowney sweepstakes? I mean, I don't think that that's the guy that they had targeted, but they also just didn't have the money to do it. So I think it's the kind of thing where you look around and say, let's not be caught again. We have this flexibility that we can have, and if something does become available, if there is a move we want to make, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Like we've got that. We've got the flexibility now to make that happen. So just makes some sense to have it. I would expect they're at least looking around. They're at least talking to people,
right,
about something. But I don't think they're.
Now.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything imminent.
Right. Could it be Kaepernick?
Wow, that'd be great.
I'm sort of serious about this. I mean, great. I love what Madden did. This is yet another brilliant marketing move, right? I think last week's big marketing move was the goddamn Mexican pizza and Taco Bell. I don't even know what Mexican pizza is. I have no clue. This canceling menu items has been just freaking great for Taco Bell, and now we have Madden putting Kaepernick in the game, and he's ahead of I don't know, probably 7 or 8 decent quarterbacks. He's got a Madden rating of 81.
Did you see his celebration?
No, what'd he do?
If he on the game, if he scores a touchdown, he goes raise the fist.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it.
How are any of these businesses going to stay afloat, like the NFL, like the NHL, like Major League Baseball, like Madden, if all the people who have the money aren't going to go to games and play video games? God, it just seems like a stupid move. It doesn't seem like a good business move. How these people make all these millions of dollars and they keep doing this crap?
Exactly. Good question. If you were asking on a serious level about Kaepernick for the Raiders, I doubt it. I don't think you would have needed to create cap space. I feel like he's going to be pretty cheap if he does sign.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what's going on in the green room right now, but is this, or maybe this is some fresh new gear he's got? It's blinding. What is happening here?
My President James, President LeBron. President LeBron is going to be the first president in the history of the United States who we refer to by their first name. He's just going to be, there was no President Barack. There was no President George. It's going to be President LeBron, and it's going to be glorious. Shout out to the #1 team in the NBA. Let's go.
Is this because they won? Is this because they won tonight?
No, I got this the day he signed with the Lakers. I want.
No, I don't mean the jersey purchase. I just mean the reference to President LeBron.
Oh no, I mean he keeps winning. He keeps proving doubters wrong. Time and time again. He's played the best basketball of his career. They're going to win the championship. He's going to win more. And each time he wins more championships, he gets more money. And with more money comes more influence. And he's going to keep talking. He's going to keep putting money into things that he cares about. He's going to get stadiums to be voting centers. He's going to make a difference in a very real way. And it's awesome to see. I want him to win everything. President Grover did come first. That's true, Ryan.
Does Ryan Carl have a fact there? Is this a fact or is this opinion based? Was he actually called Grover?
No, I think he just tried to think of the most.
I think today it'd just be Grover, but I'm guessing it was.
Yeah. No, he'd be GC. He'd be GC for sure. I'm not disturbed by anything that you've said so far. I'm disturbed by how far back that hat is on your head.
Oh, what do you like? What do you like? What do you?
No. You can wear it backward, but like it's like it's pointing downward. Like I feel like it has to be like around across your forehead.
Adam prefers this look where it's over the eyebrows.
That's weird. Yeah. I like
your hat.
I'd hide my caterpillars too if I had. But
they're beautifully clothed.
Your hat is going straight. Yeah, that's better. Like your hat was going straight down your back.
I would never wear my hat like this.
Well, first of all, why would anybody ever wear a non-fitted hat anyway?
Well, like, first of all, I was wearing it the way I was wearing it because it's a Krusty Burger hat, and I wanted people to think it was a Lakers hat because I don't own a Lakers hat. The only piece of Lakers anything, I'm a Bulls fan. The only thing I own Lakers is this jersey, and I'm going to cherish this because, again, it's going to be a time when we think back to when he was just a basketball player and he wasn't the leader of the once again free world. And when he really, truly does President LeBron make America great. Yes.
That's when you know you're a real fan.
Hey, I think we can all be fans. Yes, Steve. Let's get it. Let's go. President LeBron 2028.
I would have worn it coming out, but I bet the Lakers first half they didn't come through. So my fade system so far has not been working, but I'll stick with it.
Condolences.
This could be a good race. Or is it DJ TJ in 2028?
I thought he's 2024.
What are they not? They're only going to hold office for 4 years?
No, he's going to lose, and then they'll run Ivanka.
They're going to lose. They're never going to lose again.
The dynasty. It's a bad pro wrestling stable. It sucks.
Fun to think about.
It's...
Barron's up at 48.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna focus on an alternate future with LeBron and then Bronny. Bronny's gonna surpass his father as the greatest basketball player to ever live, and then he's gonna take the mantle at the head of the Oval Office. I can see it just happening. Maybe Kaepernick comes in, Secretary of Defense. Love that Madden celebration, by the way.
Two things: would we rather have the Ball dynasty than the Trump dynasty? If we're gonna have a whole family run the country for the next? Yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, I think I do, but
no. I mean, listen, LeVar and company have one failed business, maybe a couple more that I don't. I'm just speaking on the Big Baller brand. Donald John Trump has like 30, and it's documented over like 4 decades.
Including the country.
Yeah, the big one, sure, but casinos and stakes and university fraud, and then like not paying contractors and. I'll take LeVar and his modern day millennial type of thinking, charge $600 for shoes. They may not be quality, but some idiots will buy it, and I'll get my money and make it worth my time. And, we'll create some controversy by charging $600 for shoes.
On a more real level, I mean, everyone agrees Melania is leaving him after he's done, right? So my question would be, doesn't Barron go with her?
Brady.
And isn't he shunned? Like, won't he be shunned from the family? He'll be like the next Tiffany.
Who, Barron?
Yeah. Like, if he's with Melania and, like, they leave.
It's like a really dumb version of Secession. Like, Secession is very smart and witty, and it leaves you laughing. This is just like, this is fucking dumb. Like, this is very trashy. Yeah. I like where your head's at. I haven't had time to, like, fully think about the family dynamic and what that could mean.
I think Barron's out. I don't think he's not gonna be a part of it.
You know why you're able to contextualize like that, Adam, and think like it's because you have such a deep-seated root and love and passion for reality television that you understand, although this isn't reality TV, or it is in like the worst way, however you want to look at that, you have the foresight to see what's coming. And I could see a family rift. And you are right. Melania and him are for sure getting all the wave-offs and the hands and here's the thing. We've all known couples that like are crazy, right? Like they don't get along. And even in public, maybe until it gets like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and shit really gets wild. But for many hours, those people can hold it together in public. They smile, they're cordial, they're polite. What my point is even some of the most toxic relationships that all of us have experienced, friends, yourselves, whatever, personal experience, whatever the case may be, you can put on a facade for a couple hours. They walk off of Air Force One and she's like, nah, bitch, get away from me. Like immediately. She can't even feign it for like 10 seconds. Do you know how nuts it must be in those rooms and around that house at night? Like right now, that's a horror movie.
I think there was a point there about Mav Carter being Mnuchin. Come on, man. No, he's definitely Bill Barr. Like he goes in as the Attorney General and he just is a political weapon. He's not actually an Attorney General. He just does all the dirty work for Braun. I guess he could be like Cohen, but I don't think he'd turn on him. They're boys from way back.
Did you ever deal with Cohen? I know a lot of people in the MMA space that did around the Affliction shows.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it didn't stand out because he was just a guy essentially doing PR tour for a fledgling MMA company. But for sure.
Because that was Donald Trump's brand in 2008. Like legit. I mean, it was always his brand. It was rogue renegade blood merchant businesses like the WWE and the UFC, and he was like, hey, yeah, come on, let's go be carnies together. Sweet, and I'm gonna sell steaks. Yeah. What?
Start a college.
Yeah, no, the 45th president of your United States. President LeBron, 2028. Let's go. Let's go.
He might still be playing.
Yes. I'm not even joking. We're watching Tom Brady.
43?
Yeah, we're watching Tom Brady, and he might be better, never been injured. I don't even know what this dude has. Like I started when I first came on. I do think he's playing some of the best basketball of his career at 36 or whatever. And I think we all agree that he wants to play with his son. And then it's like, well, what will he do for his legacy? And like, how does he view it? Because I could see him like, okay, Bronny comes in the league. Maybe they end up playing on the same team. Maybe he mentors them while he's still not starting, but maybe he's still starting. I don't know, right? But my point is, I could see LeBron being effective at like 45 years old, coming off the bench, if that's what he wanted to do, 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, being a veteran voice, and sort of like coach / leading a team to a championship under his kid. Like, I think we're watching that sort of like freakish, legendary sort of figure. What he's doing is not normal. He hasn't changed his game. Like most 36-year-old, they develop this. He has developed a longer range shot. But for all intents and purposes, he's the same kid I watched when he debuted in the league when I went to see him play the Pacers in 2003. It's like the same guy. More veteran, a little more, confidence. But, I mean, in terms of physicality, the dude is unstoppable still. It's crazy to watch.
By the way, is this true from John Lynn that this is where we are from an intelligence standpoint as a country? That his platform is Taco Tuesdays? That might be enough to win? I mean, I like tacos.
Institute it nationwide.
Tuesdays are kind of lame.
Better than build the wall
every week. A Taco Tuesday, I'm in.
Yeah.
Tacos for everybody, and Mexico will pay for it.
Yeah. And if you really wanted to do this, like really wanted to get federally behind it and actually write it into law, if you could somehow use the uniform blanket statement, $1.50 tacos at every restaurant subsidized by some sort of government funding and people can turn in papers. I don't know. But like, if you really wanted to get behind Taco Tuesday as a platform, I would be completely on board.
Yep. There you go.
Build the show. Yes.
Build the show.
Yes.
Build the show. Jay Lawrence with a good point. Can a bald president? Can we have one? Can a bald man win the presidency? Because LeBron has developed a receding hairline since he's been a young tyke.
Is it Trump? Trump bald?
LeBron has more hair than Trump, guaranteed. And not even.
Trump,
I mean,
Trump has great hair.
We're battling. We're battling the battle of the fakeness. I do find it so odd that both these guys painted on, but I mean, LeBron's job is way better than Donnie's. Like when Donnie goes on the Air Force One and the wind blows and then it just like, it scares the shit out of you. Like LeBron's comical. I saw someone on Instagram last week compare LeBron's head to like the back of an Oreo that doesn't quite separate. It just gets the little dots on it. Like that's like what the back of his hair looks like. And LeBron responded to that and talked about how hilarious it was. It is hilarious. He's got a sense of humor about it. Donald Trump does not laugh about his hair. He takes that shit deadly seriously. I would love someone to roast him about it. But, yeah. Trump does not have more hair than LeBron. No way. Absolutely not.
Well, he does. This is not his.
Like the old-timey references. Van Buren's hair did suck. It really did. And then he was like back here. He tried to grow it all out fluffy. Come on, dude. Let it go like I have. Let it go like I have.
He had a street gang named after him, though. The Van Buren boys.
Remember when Van Gundy tackled Zoe? Wasn't it Zoe?
Yeah.
And his hair was all waving on the court.
He didn't exactly tackle him. He grabbed his leg and he was dragged around the court by the.
I just remember the hair. Yeah, I just remember the hair.
Martin Van Buren had like a lion's mane on the back, but then like nothing on the front.
Yeah, the skullet.
I started going bald at 21 years old. I do not know what it is about like white suburban dads that just resign themselves to the horseshoe head. Like, God, and LeBron, you are worth $1 billion. You like out of all the people who shouldn't give a shit about having hair. It's concerning. Like, I like LeBron in so many ways. 2 ways I can't defend him. China, Can't defend China. You got to say something, LeBron. And I'm not even trying to be like a right-wing sympathizer. I mean, I just feel like, you could have done something a little bit more. And the baldness, man, let it go. Stop making yourself such an easy target. It's embarrassing.
Kendall, make the comeback. Make the comeback. Mr. Tiger, make the comeback.
No.
Real quick, I got to throw this in.
It's beautiful. I look good. It's bald. It's what I am. God made me this way.
I was told about 12 years ago, I was given wise advice from one Mark Coleman. I was doing an interview with him one time, and he was just fascinated by my hair because he could see there was some hope left. The bald spot was developing the back, and he's like, dude, you gotta put some Rogaine, man. You got a chance there. And he was like, it was like 3 minutes on my hair. I'm like, Mark, former top 5 heavyweight in the world, the swan song, fighting for his life, and he's like, you gotta do it, man.
By the way, Ryan, you had it wrong. It was. Did you say an Oreo?
Yeah.
No, it was a Reese's Pieces cup.
Oh, that's right. It was.
Or not Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
The cup.
The Reese cup.
Peanut butter cup. Reese's
cup. When it sticks to the top.
All,
Yeah, it was.
Now we're all watching
it. Yeah.
So, Vegas Bill Carey just tweeted that at me, so I got to see that. So
appreciate that.
You were off on that one.
No, but back to Coleman and his Rogaine obsession. I sort of get it. As soon as my hair started falling out a little bit, I shaved it. I went straight to the shave. I was like, well, this is going to be my avatar for the next 50 years. So I didn't want it to be a slow progression. I just wanted people to get used to it. This is what I'm going to look like. I can't help it. I'm eventually going to lose all my hair. I go back and I wonder if I should have done it different. Should I went the Mark Coleman way and tried some Rogaine? Maybe. But, you can't change the past. I will say this, Adam, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but George St. Pierre posted a photo 2 days ago of a full head of hair. George St. Pierre.
First time?
Yeah, infamously bald. I hate willingly bald people. Yep. You piece of shit, George St. Pierre. For 15 years to have the ability to grow that beautiful hair and to not do it, it's like a slap in the face of God. I certainly take personal offense. And George St. Pierre's, by all accounts, a great guy. We all three of us have had dealings with him. I don't think I've ever said a bad word about him until I saw that picture of him with a full head of hair. Garbage.
You piece of shit.
Garbage.
Adam and I got angry the first time we saw another fighter, Frank Trigg, with hair. We're like, bro, what are you doing? Where did that come from?
I don't know what he was going for.
Giant head of hair. Why are you doing? Adam doesn't have any problems. He's got plenty of hair, but it's you're rubbing it in our face.
Yeah, Adam has great hair, and he wears a hat all the time. He could do so many fun things with that weird ass. Not weird, but it's very thick, and it moves in weird ways. And
it's very lustrous. It's awesome. Didn't Alex say last week he thought I was bald?
You used to have crazy Jerry curl locks. You used to have wet flowing I saw a picture of that shit, and I knew you back then, but I don't remember that look.
Oh, the picture with me and John Jones with my my luscious locks down to the shoulder was great.
Bring that back. The Raiders
really
match the outlaw spirit. Let's go.
The outlaw spirit.
Yeah,
I've done a really bad rabbit hole right now on the line of worst presidential hair.
Oh,
they only have Martin Van Buren at number 3.
I had the worst.
Well, no, they actually said Nixon had the worst hair.
How?
Why?
Which,
kind of greasy looking.
And he was going for something, and it wasn't really working. They make a good point. John Quincy Adams' hair is it's atrocious. I don't know if you guys have even seen.
That was the style.
Stuff,
it wasn't though, because he's totally bald still. Van Buren wasn't that long after John Quincy Adams. But I'm going to say this:
Kennedy had best.
I would imagine so. Franklin Pierce, I'm saying, who might be the most forgettable president of all time.
That's an actual president, Franklin Pierce? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. No, I swear to God, I didn't know that. That is a name I would have never – if you would have had that on a list of 4 presidents and it was who wants to be a millionaire, I would have lost that shit. Anyway, sorry. My apologies.
He was 14th, by the way. It's a little bit before Lincoln. Do you have a computer in front of you?
Those with 2 first names? Never trust a guy with 2 first names. I feel like Franklin Pierce. Think about all the people with 2 first names.
Hold on. Is
super
Pierce,
shady.
Pierce isn't
Pierce
fine. But just because one person has it doesn't mean it's a real first name.
I feel like it's a first name, man.
Whoa. All right, you got.
I think it's kind of like Adam. Now there's a point here. Hold on.
It's
This
humid.
that right there.
It was humid back then.
I don't know what he was going for there.
Well,
It was like Mitt Romney. It was like Mitt Romney on a bad acid trip.
And then here's a painting where they clearly clean it up. Like that's not what his hair looks like. You liar.
no, that's fake.
This is his hair. This nonsense.
Yeah.
This and this. Whatever. Who did he have a stylist? Did they fucking film this shit? That is bad.
So bad. That's the president. That looks like Trump's hair when the wind is blowing it.
I just like that Ryan didn't even know he was a president.
Yeah, you know.
Oh wow, he really. You know what? I didn't. John Quincy Adams really was bald.
Yeah, the chop.
But
Stick.
Wow.
Sorry, he's going for the sideburns. Like, what is he going for on the sides though? What is the look that he's got going on? He does it again here.
You could hear how he talks, though, right? I don't know about the look he's going for, but I guarantee you I know how John Quincy Adams sounded when he talked.
Here he is, younger, much handsomer.
I feel like these are guys that could not get elected after TV came around.
Yep, you're right.
No chance. And I don't know if that's for better or worse. Like, maybe we'd have a much better pool of candidates now if there was no television.
John Quincy Adams running on a defund the police platform. I can see it now.
Oh, whoa! I mean, that is just.
I mean, he is fully committed to the beard hair and just not showering at all.
That's Van Buren, right?
Yeah. Like, there's got to be a. Can someone type in? Someone in the chat room, search smelliest presidents. He just looks dirty.
That's probably Taft, I would imagine.
And also, Steve, everyone was dirty back then. They used to like bathe. Come on, man. Like commodes and outhouses.
No. Don't bring up Taft, because then the assumption is any of us who are overweight or chubby, we automatically lack hygiene. That is not right.
I shower twice a day, so I appreciate that, Steve. Cheers to you.
But here's the thing. You look like you smell. You like that label?
For sure. No, I hate it. I smell wonderful. I just got some exfoliating special soaps from Amazon. I got my first charcoal face scrub because I had my first wrinkle. I'm 37. I feel like there's some like things I can do to like unclog my pores. I'm really learning a lot about myself in this pandemic, guys.
Well, can you search who aged the worst? Because I got to tell you, Bill Clinton, it's a mess now. First of all, has he had like, because I always go down this path, start mocking on someone, and they'll be like, he had cancer, asshole. There's something wrong with his throat? He's got nothing left.
Well, he always had a very scratchy voice.
Yeah. You talking sound wise, or are you talking like physically, like the chicken neck?
No. While we're on it, here we go. We're just going to meander. I was going crazy about Mike D'Antoni. I didn't realize how old he was. Because he looks young. And then I saw his neck tonight. Wow.
Not good.
Yeah, how do we avoid that?
Well, I would imagine
it was very it was very wrinkly and it's not turkey, but it's just wrinkly. Like how do you not do that? I mean, plastic surgery on your neck?
Well, I'd imagine that's just what he looks like, but he just has makeup on his face.
Also, I heard a beard keeps your face tight. So like it keeps everything because you got the hair follicles and they're stimulated, so it shields from the sun. Yes. So my neck never gets burned.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a protector.
All right. Maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe you're onto something. I can't grow a beard like that, but that's fine.
Sure you can. You've never tried. You had you were doing good like last year. You had like the red was coming out.
No. It doesn't grow down here, so I don't think there's going to be length. There's no base down here.
I don't think you've tried hard enough. It takes dedication. Give it like 10 weeks. No shaving. See what happens.
It's not going to happen. I will do if you want. I can. It'll take a year, but I think I can do the Van Buren.
Please go for that. Please go for that. Should we start a collection? If we get you to like $2,000, would you do it for $2,000?
Remotes would be so wild. People would just stop in the middle of the concourse and just look. There'd just be people running into each other.
I don't think you could get it.
I would like to see people bring back looks like that. Like we've just been borrowing from the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. And like now it's a little bit more 90s neon influences. Jordan's just had the Bel Airs. When I was growing up in the 90s, people were wearing like bell bottom jeans and bring it. Like, let's really borrow style. Let's bring the wigs back. Let's bring like just crazy ass shit, like stuff. Like they tried to bring like, remember Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and they were doing like the zoot suits and the wallet chains? That shit was whack. Let's get really weird. Let's go back like 250 years. I want to see like borrowing, style, class, guys. We need to class it up. We need to class this joint up after Trump.
Steve Van Beasy. By the way, I was trying to do some research for your smelliest president.
Yeah.
I got directed into a very weird rabbit hole of which president had the smelliest junk.
Oh no! Why would you do that?
I just said smelliest president, and this was like one of the top results. The consensus seems to be Ulysses Grant.
Really?
Well, that he was a soldier at a very difficult time. The uniforms were very heavy. He was a bigger guy with a large beard. Like, there's a lot of cleanly issues, I guess, with the beard being all heavy.
I just random facts like that pop it. Was he a big drinker? Can you look up?
Probably.
Can you look up Grant alcoholic?
What else were you gonna do? The fucking Civil War. It was in PlayStation. And like 600. There was no channels. There was no radio. It was the sun was up. Okay, let's use the sun. And then when it went down, it was like, well, let's get drunk. Or they started before that. There's nothing you could do.
Let's get
it was
drunk.
like growing up in Indiana. It was just like, all right, let's go out in the field and see what drugs and alcohol people have.
Right, Brady?
Well,
all that history I studied. Yeah.
By the way,
Here's confirmation.
Trump referred to Grant as an alcoholic.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, I've got three sources now, so I'm going to run with it. I've also got a source saying Ulysses S. Grant really liked cars and not the playbook. So, whatever that's worth.
Okay,
that was a lame joke about the Raiders.
Trade him before he ever plays a snap.
Our super successful professional team, major league team. Sorry, Aviators. Won tonight. I don't know where to go with this team. Like, I want to get excited, and yeah, Bobby Lehner is awesome. He's pitching shutouts left and right, but can I get fired up about the Knights when it comes to the goal scoring? Is this going to get back to a normal level where we don't have to worry about Leonard having to pitch a freaking shutout every game?
Yeah, I don't have many concerns about this team right now.
No, you're not concerned at all about their scoring. And the explosion happened quickly. They got out to a lead. I mean, they had a goal disallowed, but you're not worried at all with some of the drought you've seen.
No, not really. Not really. I think, Vancouver, you got off to that hot start and maybe you let off the gas pedal a little bit. Focus more on game one of the Western Conference Finals. I think not having Reeves was a huge factor in that game.
Nothing. Just wait. We all do it. Adam went down the smelliest crotch search. And just, he didn't hear any of my hockey setup. And then Brady overfocused and he put work hole instead of warm. On the show.
Can I point out that what you asked about was, is there any concerns about the Golden Knights despite their victory today? And do they have to count on Leonard getting a shutout every game? I heard you, but I was very, very focused on.
It's pretty good.
On the conflicting historical reports of Ulysses Grant's drunkenness. Like, apparently it was made into a campaign issue. Like, his opponents were like, he's a drunk. He shouldn't be in office. And apparently it's not even true. Like, he actually wasn't a drunk, but they tried to make it – it was fake news of the time. Wow. They tried to make him out to be a drunk, and he actually wasn't. Although there was reports that he was a drunk at times and that his wife and advisors – would like make sure he didn't drink when making important decisions.
Yeah, I agree. The Whig says it's fake news.
Yeah,
they fired back.
Let's lay off anybody who was in the Civil War.
You're a big Civil War defender.
I am.
No, I mean not the war itself. The people in the war, except for the treasonous bastards.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been very curious about, growing up and still having Confederate flags and, celebrating traitors and how the rhetoric of the Civil War was turned into, it wasn't really about slavery. It's like, all right, well, I have a feeling if it was about states' rights, it was all right. Yeah, big wars like that, it always comes down to good versus evil. But speaking of good,
if your kids are not engaged on a daily basis with your teacher, you can always invite them on with Cofield and Company on this Zoom-like stream, and we're going to talk about things maybe they're not used to, but it is going to be an education, and the chatters will come in, the commenters will come in, you'll learn from that. So I highly recommend this for the kids.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just last week,
11 and over.
Yeah.
And by the way, we will not the material, the smutty shit that Adam brought up about smelliest crotch. We're not going to go. We will sanitize it. That was disgusting. Don't do that. I don't do that. You don't do it.
It's not me. It's blame Google.
All right, back to the Golden Knights. Can we spend 5 minutes on our potential Stanley Cup winning Golden Knights?
You're done with Grant's drunkenness?
I was just saying, has there ever been a penis in presidential history that we knew more about than Donald Trump's? I mean, like Stormy Daniels gave us a diorama. She was like, it looks like a little mushroom with a cap, and it was this, and she like talked about everything.
All right, Golden Knights.
Oh. So I really think the Knights missed Ryan Reeves in game 1. You saw the physicality. I go back to the Western Conference Finals game 1 there. And, having Reeves not in that game, I think Dallas came out and wanted to prove a point. You saw it throughout especially the first period. Not so much the goal. It's really not that. It was a really good hockey game played on all sides. But one thing was pretty evident for the first 30 minutes is Dallas was the better team on the ice. They were hitting. They were playing faster. And I think, to an extent, is one of the reasons why I don't want to, judge Vegas, from that game is because of the rest that wasn't there and how how charged up Dallas looked like. I think there was an evening out tonight. You saw great two-way play by just about everybody on the ice. The Knights looked like they're firing on all cylinders. And for the last, even before the restart, 3 weeks before the restart, it was looking like this was the best team in hockey. And as soon as they got Lehner, and Adam, you can attest to this, I thought that was a huge pivot moment for the franchise because it gave them a huge advantage. And we're seeing it play out in these playoffs. Having that ability to go to 2 really solid goaltenders and to not have any confidence worries, that's why I don't worry about the offense. They have so much to be happy about, and so much stress is taken off their backs just knowing that no matter who's in net or what's going to happen, you've got 2 guys that are going to deliver for you, and they're playing like it. Again, you see the way they were sharing the puck tonight, the way they were, back checking. It was really inspired hockey. It was cool to see.
I think the Reeves angle is a good one, that he gives them a certain energy that even when they don't have it, they can find it from him kind of getting things fired up. And that line, really, I mean, it's him and Carrier together, and then whoever plays center with them. But I would say even more than the rest, it was just situational to where they had the 3 games in 4 days. They lost 2. They could not score a goal. They were so frustrated with their inability to get by Demko, and they had so much pressure in that game 7 of, first of all, deciding to start Lehner, them having to worry about what were people going to say if they blew another 3-1 lead, that they couldn't score a goal, that they were all these things were happening. Did they step in their own way with, the Fleury stuff and the Marchessault comments on Instagram and all these other things? Did they derail themselves? All these questions that they were going to have to answer. Then they play 3 games in 4 days, and that game 7 was just so emotional. And while Dallas played that same day, it was only 3-5 for them. They didn't have that same kind of pressure necessarily building up, not the same controversies around them, and they were able to just come out and play a much smoother, much freer game 1 than the Knights were. And I think the Knights, not that they took the night off in game 1, but they just had nothing, and they didn't have a guy like Ryan Reeves to generate that energy for them, and they just never got it going. So I obviously today was a much better representation of what they are than game 1 was.
Yeah, and you touched on something that I think was really interesting about game 7 was how potentially integral that was in the history of the Vegas Golden Knights. Because really, you talk about it blowing a 3-1 lead again, right? Yeah. That was at play. Obviously, the memory of not a major and the way that all collapsed, and the way that Vegas still feels about that. How about the way you could also look at season 1? Rousing success. Made the case many times that it was bigger than a Stanley Cup. Going to a Stanley Cup in your first year on an expansion team is the craziest thing I've ever seen in sports, period. But you did win game 1. And up until Holtby's save, on Alex Tuck, I felt like they were going to win game 2. But as soon as that save happened, there was a complete collapse with the Vegas Golden Knights. Everything else was different after that save. They lost 4 games in a row after winning game 1. Could be viewed as somewhat of a choke. Definitely season 2, a choke. If they don't win game 7 in season 3 last week, that's another choke. And now you've got choke in big playoff moments that could, depending on how things go, define a little bit of your franchise. Certainly stick with fans. So it's good that they got past them and they didn't blow another 3-1 series lead because, obviously they're still alive. But again, that happening, like you said, the pressure of all that could have been devastating.
McKinnell's the only guy I know who is worried about what'll happen if the Golden Knights bring home the Stanley Cup. It's the weirdest rationale I've heard. But maybe there are people out there who are going to look at it as a negative in some ways, like Ryan will.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is kind of hard to explain, right? It's just a feeling. No one else out there is sad? And I know, listen, guys, I know it's a pandemic and everything that's happening, so I'm just being honest, about the emotions and the feel. Guys, from last year or season 1 to what we were doing when the Golden Knights, and I'm not talking about going to the games, I'm talking about the city being on fire. I'm talking about driving by every single bar and having people spilling out, cover charges, people not being able to get in, people meeting at people's houses, making meals, sharing, experiencing together. No one else is sad sitting in your houses, not being able to go out and experience this in the way that you want to. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to win the cup. You don't think that when they win the cup, there's not going to be a lot of sadness there, knowing that you can't go out and celebrate your first Stanley Cup in a city that, really wants it and that has been behind this team through some crazy shit? I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom, but that's a natural feeling I've been having as this has been progressing. Is like, man, this is really kind of shitty. It's going to be great. Winning a Stanley Cup is winning a Stanley Cup, and it will be awesome. And it will be with the city forever, and it will be with the team's history. But for the people that lived it, man, you guys don't feel that? You don't, Steve, talking to your friends, the SO, there's no, you don't get any of that feeling. It's just onward and upward. Game 7, let's keep winning. No one's thinking about how much this sucks that we're just watching it in our living rooms.
I haven't heard it, but I don't disagree with you. So I think there are probably some people out there who think it blows, and a lot of the bonding that they enjoy, they're going to miss out on. And frankly, right now, from seeing how people are acting, and I'm not ripping anyone in particular, but I think everyone or lots of people in general are struggling with this. Yeah, it's going to be a big loss because it'll be a really cool event, and you will not be able to hang out with your friends and strangers and celebrate. Now they have to get there; they got to win it.
Yeah,
but yeah, there'll be a little, left to be desired when you win a cup and you can't freaking celebrate it for real. And then, of course, it'll turn into, more of the narrative about what a scumbag Sisolak is. So that'll feed that whole frenzy.
I didn't even think about that. And yeah, think about a parade. You have a parade? You have a parade with you're going to socially distance a fucking championship parade? That will be so sad. And then there will be people who won't. And I don't want to be doom and gloom. It's just a side note to the history that we're all living. I think if you ignore it or you don't talk about it, no, it's not boo, we won a championship, stupid take. It's that you're sitting here living it. Miller, Vegas, didn't get your whole name. Yeah, Miller, you don't feel this? This is normal to you? You're going to have fun, toasting your significant other, your kids? Yeah, Zoom parade. Cool. Yay. Woo. Listen, it's cool. You can celebrate with your friends. I get it, but it's not going to be the same. It's just not. And that sucks. Yes, it's going to be a Zoom parade. That's exactly what it's going to be. Send in your well wishes, and we're going to play them on a virtual wall. It's going to fucking suck. It's going to suck. It's not an actual championship in terms of celebrating, in terms of the communal. One of the reasons that we love sports, 80% of my friends are based on the Chicago Bears, the Chicago White Sox, Notre Dame football, our common interests, communal, tribal, right? It's ingrained in our DNA as sports fans. Going to games, sharing games, Sunday football, going down to the Westgate, doing the super contest, screaming, looking at the drunk dude screaming and laughing at him, whatever the case may be. Sports are together, and when you take that away, it's undeniable that this sucks. How could you view it any other way? It's not that the championship sucks. Good, yes, go win the championship. Maybe I can get some money when I sell some of my season tickets. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't suck, that not having this communal celebration, this void, isn't palpable. If you can't feel it, then good for you. I guess I don't know. I don't know what it would be to say that you're not feeling it, but I feel it.
I've talked to several people who feel that way and are feeling like that. But I think the common, refrain from that, or the retort would be, yeah, but you got to win it first, and you're just going to enjoy winning it, and all you'll remember 20 years from now is that they won. I don't think you remember the situations of it. And I'm in a totally different realm than everybody else, because I can actually watch the games now. I prefer this instead of just being caught up in the in the moment and at the arena trying to work, trying to do this other thing. I'm actually able to watch the games and appreciate them more than just being swept up in everything. So it's different for me. But listen, I've talked to people, but there is also, if you go out, if you're out in public, it's not really holding people back that much. There is, as CJ Cards fan said, if you go to bars, they're still out there watching it together and enjoying it, and they're participating in it. They still are, whether they're supposed to be or not.
What do I say to that? Yay! I'm glad you're out partying and slapping and high fiving, and I can't get on board with that. So I don't know, man. That's one of the reasons we can't go out, the majority of us, and celebrate, is because people haven't wanted to stay inside and do what it needs to take to corral this thing nationwide, not necessarily here in Nevada, because I think we've done a pretty fairly good job outside of, our holiday weekends and some of the surges we've seen. So,
hey, reminder about Cofield and Company. This Thursday, we'll be on the road. Come on out and watch Thursday Night Football at Silver Sevens. Yeah, I'll be doing the live show from Silver Sevens in the Corona Cantina. And cool thing that we'll have, just very smooth. Cool thing that we'll have, show up. All you have to do is show up and talk to myself. I'll be on the air, but during breaks, or the remote tech. And we've got 25 free entries into the William Hill Pro Pick'em contest. So there's $300,000 up for grabs, and all you got to do is be one of the first 25. Silver Sevens, Flamingo, and Paradise. And we do look forward to seeing people down there. It's one of my favorite locations. A true locals location. Yes.
Can I get in on that?
The master of the Segu, or the Segway. Sometimes I nail it. But that's this Thursday and every Thursday, and we got a good game. And hell, if you stop by for 5 minutes, that helps us, and it helps you because you'll get in the William Hill contest. How about that? And wear a mask. You will not be allowed. You will not be allowed on the property or to walk around the property unless you have a mask on. As far as broadcasters, don't worry about
it. You mind your business.
Don't worry about it at all. I got a couple of graphics and pictures here. We could go on forever. Let's see who the biggest
Martin Van Buren photo.
Yeah, let's see who the biggest badass is on the show. I'm not funding your bets. I will not promise that, even for $5. Sorry, Mike. Just show up and you'll get the free entry and a chance to win $300,000 or a total pool of $300,000. Come on now. The crew that was in today for Cofield and Company, lame. These aren't all bad things, but I guess it's between sort of being edgy and also a risk taker. So I'll punch it up. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is a list of things that you've done in your life. We'll start with Adam Hill.
No, probably.
Let's see how many no's are on the list. Give yourself 1 point for each thing you haven't done. So we want no's, but we want yes and no's. Ari got confused today, and then Candy screamed at him. What a mean son of a bitch he is. Okay. So put some thought to it.
1 point if you haven't done it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a yes or no. So Adam skipped school?
Of course.
Yeah, check your notifications there, Cofield.
Broken a bone?
No, like a finger or nose wouldn't count, right? So it'd be like a real bone.
Of course, it would count.
Broke a
I'll
finger.
say no.
Yes, a finger and a nose count, Adam.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I was gonna say no.
Have you broken a finger or not?
Yes, he clearly has. Steve, move on. We can't spend time on this. This is
I'm
stupid.
gonna say no. That doesn't count. I think only.
Okay,
I think
any
only-
doctor, Adam, any doctor. Okay, call up any doctor and be like, I broke my nose or a finger. Did I break a bone?
I think
And they'll
only
pause
only
like
arms.
5 seconds because you're dumb, and they'll be like, yes, Adam. you
No,
broke
it's
a
not.
bone.
No. Only
Don't
arms and legs count.
Just fucking answer it.
Only arms and legs count. I'm gonna say no. Fired a gun, yes.
You know what? I'm going to alter mine. Actually, I'm now down. I'm not going to tell you my number. I'm taking a no off mine. Broken a bone. They had to break my schnoz to do surgery when I was like 8. That counts.
No,
If
it
you're gonna-
Absolutely counts.
doesn't count.
It absolutely counts.
The finger counts.
I'm gonna say no broken bone.
Well, you're not getting a no, so keep going. Fired a gun.
Yes.
Done drugs. Okay. Been in a limo.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's Adam
Of
Hill.
course. Yeah.
Gotten a tattoo.
Nope.
Well, none of us have tattoos, and I don't know.
First, no, yeah.
All right. There's the first.
I'm
No for Adam.
gonna bet that Steve has ridden a horse.
Oh,
Ridden a
not
horse.
only
I'll go through mine. Just stick with yours. Ridden a
Okay.
horse.
Okay. I have not.
not only have I ridden a horse, I know proper
Hey,
riding.
McKinnell, your turn's coming up. Relax.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm very excited.
Sung karaoke. I've been with you doing it, so yes. Gotten a ticket. You've gotten a ticket. Yes, because you got a legal turn ticket when you were trying to run someone over.
Yes.
Been arrested.
Technically, no.
Okay. Detained.
So
it's
that's not arrested. It's not arrested. It's fine.
Gone ziplining.
Fuck no.
That's my answer.
They're piling up. Been on TV.
Yeah.
Been on a cruise.
Nope.
Gotten a piercing.
Yes. Although I don't think ear should count, but yeah.
You had
Wow.
an ear piercing?
What is it shouldn't count? It is or it isn't.
When did you have an ear piercing, and what did you get in it? What year was it?
Oh, dude, like senior in high school, I think it was.
Yes. What was it?
Yeah.
I'll change. Gotten a piercing. Had your balls pierced.
No.
I'll give you a no. You're not getting that.
But who hasn't? Everybody's got their ear pierced.
I
No.
haven't.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No,
All right.
absolutely not. No.
Smoked. Yes.
Not like a full cigarette.
It's. God damn you!
Rules.
You are the worst.
You smoke, dude. Move the fuck on. What is the problem
If
with
you like take like one puff on it, that counts.
Yep.
All right.
smoke.
Then yeah. Okay.
Met a celeb, of course.
Yeah.
Been skydiving.
Absolutely not.
So that's 6. Had a one night stand. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Liar.
That's a liar? Yeah,
Skinny.
I like how the rules don't come into play until we get into the one night stand talk, because I think we can have some real fun with the how we
Exactly.
define a one night stand.
Exactly. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Skinny
Oh,
dip.
also, Ari also talked about the frosted tips too, which was just a disaster.
There's something
Same.
you have a picture with frosted tips holding the bottle of Hypnotic with an earring.
No, God, that'd be great. There might be one somewhere.
Wow.
All right. And been drunk, yes. So Adam got a 6. So Aaron says anyone over 3 is a turd on the punch bowl. All right.
No, first of all, 2 of mine are dumb as shit. I would never go zip lining because I'm not dying because some 15-year-old carny didn't know how to hitch up lines between the fucking redwoods. I'm not an idiot. I would never go zip lining. I'll drive my motorcycle at 140 miles an hour without a helmet, and it's not even a control thing. Maybe it's a little bit of a control thing, but I would never do that. And skydiving, maybe, but it's just it's like a tattoo. It's like if the mood struck me, and for a tattoo, I'd really have to want it to happen. I mean, I'm open to it, but I just don't have a dying desire to do it. So there's 3 right there. And we already talked about the piercing. I don't have a piercing, Steve. And the other one's a one night stand. I never had a one night stand. So that's my 5.
It's not too late.
It is kind of too late, Adam. It's by every definition, it's too late.
Tell Faith you're trying to cut down on your score here.
Faith,
You have to,
I got this internet bucket list that I gotta appease the social media gods.
What was Steve's score?
I had a 4.
Okay.
Okay. So you got to tell us your 4. Was riding.
Let's see.
I had the money on yes. Steve's ridden a horse before.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't like it.
It's Jersey.
Nah, they're ridiculous.
So
I've never been arrested. I've never gone ziplining.
Okay.
I don't have a piercing, and I've never gotten a tattoo.
You've never been arrested?
No.
Wow.
Dude, how many times do we have to tell the story when we talk about equality in this country? Should I have been arrested?
Yeah. Well, no. We all should have been arrested. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have that privilege.
Yeah. Oh, I got let off a bunch, but there was just one night I didn't. So, but yeah, I mean, I probably like 10 nights I just should have been arrested every single time. Yeah.
Candy said never done drugs. I think he was lying.
Yeah. That's not.
I think Candy had like a 12.
Wow.
I made that up. It's probably more like an 8.
There's a lot of technicalities. Because I feel like you shouldn't count.
As always.
Well, I feel like you shouldn't count. It doesn't say illegal drugs. I was just because alcohol's a drug, so everybody's drank.
I didn't consider alcohol.
All right, but
I think they have that covered with being drunk. So, and they didn't say illegal drugs. It just says drugs.
Yeah. So I mean, I also wouldn't.
Coke. A Coke. Everyone has. I mean, by definition, it's like I think I would play rules are with this. It would have to be like actual drugs. It would have to be illicit drugs where you went to a certain length to procure, and it can't be like, Vicodin or Oxycontin because of a doctor's prescription. Like you have to like willingly go out and be a degenerate and risk your freedom and not getting arrested.
Yeah, because I technically wouldn't. I wouldn't count weed for people that live here. It's legal. It's the same as alcohol.
I mean, weed pre-2015, we can count it. Like, Obama, pre-Obama, pre-Trump.
And Tiger Gator did nail it. I played some competitive softball when I was like 22, and I got really jacked up. There was a lot of pressure. So,
did you really?
Little steroids. Yeah.
That's why he did some steroids for softball.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight.
5'9", 222, all muscle. I actually broke an aluminum bat one time when I got mad.
So you were only 15 pounds less than Trump? 237 or 239, I think it was.
5'9", 222. Yeah, that was a lie. Is there a chance? I guess someone's got to steal this list from us and do Gramala. Because I saw someone earlier say, "Can anyone be a 0?" Of course, I think lots of people are 0s.
0?
Could Gramala be 15 plus? There's no way.
Let me think.
That dude.
I bet you he's like a 12.
Yeah. I'd like to handicap this. This is local. This is great. Minus 18.
Like, there's no way he's got arrested or gotten a ticket. He probably hasn't done karaoke.
What would
no way
Bischoff
he's ridden
get?
a horse.
Bischoff, are you still on? What's your number?
Nah, he was gone a long time ago. We said all nice things about him, so I'm sure he was fired up.
Okay.
And then he had Jared watch just in case, just to track us.
So what? Like 9 on Bischoff, 10 on Bischoff?
You don't think Bischoff has like a belly button ring?
Never know, man.
Pretty sure he's a Packers fan. I think we talked about that. Maybe.
This is a good question. Is there anything President Trump hasn't done on the list?
Oh.
Is our bone spurs broken bones?
Fair. He probably hasn't fired a gun.
Oh, come on.
He's definitely fired a gun. All coked out with his bodyguards in one of his mansions some night with Epstein and a bunch of 14-year-olds. Are you kidding me? Let's go fire the machine gun out back. What, are you kidding me?
Well,
he's a billionaire in America. Of course he's fired guns.
No way he has a tattoo.
All right, that's true.
I can't imagine him singing karaoke.
Yeah, me either.
He probably has. Yes, he has.
Never gotten
No way.
He's never gotten a ticket because he's.
Why would he not sing karaoke?
There's no chance.
He doesn't have a sense of humor. He wouldn't put himself out there like that.
Yeah, he's never. Yes, there's no chance he would stand up to embarrassment.
Right. He's the dude that brought in the fake Obama so he could belittle and critique
Yeah.
A fake, like he is insane. And it didn't just start within the last like 5 years. Like the dude's crazy.
No way he's gone skydiving.
No, hell no on the zip lining.
Or piercing.
By the way, someone said I can't see that fat tub skydive. Adam, do you remember the story? Who is the biggest person we know who's ever skydiving? Like you would have never thought this person skydived.
Who?
One of our old co-hosts.
Who, Pig?
Yep.
He went skydiving?
Sports Pig went skydiving. So
for what purpose?
He just went skydiving. Yeah, he wasn't always a big guy, but yeah, he actually went skydiving. He told the story. I was like, what? Really skydiving? That's insane. That had to be a 27 Patron night, even though Patron probably didn't exist when he went skydiving.
Oh man!
So Trump's never been on a cruise because he's never done anything communal because he's always been rich, right? So like he never split the bill. Like he's went on yachts, like he's cruised, but like to play Adam's rules are, we're talking like Carnival, Disney Cruise Line, 800 people going to the buffet at midnight, sharing it with like two weird Midwesterners that
Yeah, like, there's no chance.
Other crackers and shit. Like Trump's never done that.
No chance.
Wait, that was fun. There were still more numbers. What happened?
I think we'll revisit it. I just wanted to show you a quick picture.
Okay.
I'm happy about this. It is competition, but you know what? Bring it on. We've got Vinny B going against us. We've got Ryan Wallace and Darren Millard going against us on Cofield and Company.
Uh-oh.
I'm ready.
Brady, why did you send me a story about what the founding fathers smelled like? I don't need this right now.
You have the weirdest life.
Brady sent it to us. It's weird.
Let's do it. BPF. Back in the fold. 2:00.
Nice.
We've all been part of K-Shop in the past. He's with TC.
It's a pretty intimidating photo.
Right?
Intimidating. Like
he's like staring at me. You know those like Jesus photos that like look at you wherever you're at in the room? They like follow you. That's like what Frank's got that vibe going on right now.
I like it. So make sure you listen to Frank every day at 2:00. Turn us on at 3. But then turn us off at 4 for Vinny or Ryan Wallace and Darren Millard. And then
listen to us from 3 to 4.
Watch this show and listen to the archives. So they're more important now than ever. Ari, I know you're solely responsible for keeping that LB Sports Network running, humming. So make sure it works, please. Can you do that? Last one, a desperate plea. Our fantasy football draft from last night, I can't get the draft to fucking stop. We're never going to have a league, and CBS, these pricks, won't answer an email. I paid for that. That freaking nightmare last night, I paid for that. So McKinnell, you missed what happened. We tried to tinker with some of the settings on the back end, and Kerplui, 115 players in, the draft just stopped. So then we had to do like old school calling out the bids, but it wasn't that bad. It went fast. But I can't get the draft to stop.
I don't understand.
What do I do?
What do you mean?
It was
around 7,000. Like, what do you mean you can't get it to stop?
It won't. It's just locked on like pick 118, and like every like 4 minutes it'll draft someone. But the only way to get it to keep drafting, because I was like, oh, well, just let it play out, right? Every time I do that, I have to back someone out, and then it just drafts one more player and then locks up again.
I stopped being managers of leagues a long time ago because it's impossible to get the money, at least with my degenerate friends, and everyone pussyfoots around. It's a word that doesn't get used enough, pussyfoot. Everyone pussyfoots around, and it's just the struggle's not worth it. It's just a pain in the ass. Also, Steve, 2 to 6, right? That's you. I'm talking to you. 2 to 6, right? And 10:30 to midnight. 2 to 6, 10:30 to midnight. You also going to play fantasy football league commissioner in between then? Like, you got to think about your mental health, buddy. You gotta wind down for the night. Watch some Netflix. You can't be juggling all these different
once the league is set, it runs itself, but I can't get the draft to stop. And then Brady's like, upload the rosters. I can't. It's in draft mode. I can't do anything.
I actually went to set my lineup, and I was like, Why is there no lineup to say?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the whole league is like, Cofield's an asshole. He's lazy. I'm telling you, go on the site. You can still go in the draft room. LV Pickle has been picking for freaking 18 hours. Stuck on one pick.
I'm going to enter draft room right now. Start picking some.
You know what? You'll never again. No, I'm not. Especially you got to pay for it, and it doesn't work, and now they won't answer. Yeah, here's the other thing. Can I start a new league? Maybe, but that'll be more money I have to pay. Because I don't think under the umbrella, once you pay, I don't think that lets you do unlimited leagues. I don't believe that's the case. So yes, let me start up another league. But I guess I could just, I don't know. What a nightmare.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, I just looked. I have a bunch of players I definitely didn't bid on, which is great.
Is your roster up?
Well, I'm in the draft room. It's right now we're waiting on. Actually, he's here. We're waiting on Gabe to nominate a player right now.
Yep. Oh, I've been waiting for 18 hours. It won't stop. And listen, I understand it's a crunch for the people at CBS, but come on, you got to answer emails, dicks.
Yeah, especially as you said, you pay.
I paid for it instead of doing ESPN or Yahoo.
Notice Steve hasn't went the social media route. Attention at CBS Fantasy Football. Steve Cofield from Las Vegas checking in here. Do you know who I am? My fantasy football league is frozen, and I paid money for this, and I demand an answer right now. We got some media folks that would have done that. I'm just in a roundabout way giving you credit for not being a bitch.
I have, without pulling it, do you know who I am? Could I just clip this part of the video and put it up?
Sure.
Yeah.
You get it fixed.
I don't like doing that.
I know, but the people.
I'd rather not have a league and have the other 9 people think I'm an idiot.
The people demand it. You have a city and a fan base to satiate. You have a responsibility to your listeners. You got not only do you have to do it, you got to do it tomorrow.
Pickle, get in there and make a pick, please.
Yeah, please go nominate somebody.
It doesn't matter. I tried everything. It just resets.
It somehow gave me Ezekiel Elliott, so there's a mistake.
Yeah,
I definitely don't want him.
You watched Kevin Costner in Draft Day?
Now, someone's saying that Kevin Costner at Draft Day, he was such a disaster at the draft that he's still better than me, though.
Wait, you watched it too?
It's not the joke.
No, I know.
I guess I did. I did. You know what? I did watch it.
You sounded like you watched it, and that person.
I did watch it, and I walked. Well, you know what? I watched it, and then I walked away, and then I had the debate. Whoever I watched it with, I had the same discussion I had after Moneyball. Because I watched Moneyball, and I was like, that was terrible. But the chick I was with, I was like, she doesn't really know anything about sports, so should I ruin this and point out like all the inaccuracies? Most importantly, Paul DePodesta played by a fat ass, which fucking just cast correctly. All right.
You like fat people though. You like to see big bodies represented. Maybe they're big boys.
What's his name again? Who's the fat kid who's gotten thin? He's from the rich family. Yeah, Jonah Hill. Yeah, Jonah Hill was playing Paul DePodesta, but I mean, in the end, does anyone know what Paul DePodesta looks like? No. So I chose not to ruin it for whatever SO I was with at the time. And the same thing came into my head on draft day because I think whoever I watched it with enjoyed it, so I wasn't going to ruin it.
But you know they would never let a big girl play a skinny girl in a movie.
Bingo.
It's okay for guys.
Oh, of course. Or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Some guy's pushing 270 and, some modelly looking dude who's, 160 pounds all roided up at 160 is kind of weird, but yeah, they allow that. I was in a good mood. Now I got myself all worked up and now I have to spend hours on this fantasy site. Take it off here.
It might cut into what tonight is supposed to be about, Steve.
I have no idea what we're supposed to talk about. I forgot everything.
No, not what we're supposed to talk about. What Tuesday nights are in September. Hard Knocks Tuesday.
Oh yeah, you are watching, right?
I'm about to.
This is the finale, so we find out the cuts.
Oh God, I'm not ready.
Have you looked at any of the cuts?
Well, I knew one.
I feel like the.
Have you?
I don't think Hard Knocks did a good job this year of introing the guys on the cusp. Like, who's your boy that you can't stand? Papa Favre.
Yeah, Papa Favre guy. Clay.
Clay Johnson.
Yeah, Clay Johnson.
Who's fat running back on the Chargers?
Fat running back?
Yeah. The kid who came in overweight, and the strength coach is like, "What are you doing?" Even Anthony Lynn's like, "What were you doing in your hotel room? You weigh 260 pounds. You played at 235. What are you doing?"
I forgot about fat.
You haven't watched any of this, have you?
No, but I haven't. But I'm a little curious. did you avoid spoilers like cuts so you would be surprised in the final episode?
Just for the Chargers and Rams, yeah.
I did.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I always admire your guys' dedication to Hard Knocks, but no, for whatever reason, and you know what? I'm not super excited for the season. I was watching some of the college football without the crowd. I don't know. We're going to see how it plays out on Thursday. I'm excited for the matchup. Obviously, we're talking about a very good football game. So I'm excited for that in theory, but I don't know how this transition is going to be for me. Each sport's been a little bit different. Would you guys agree with that without fans? Like, I think NBA has been by far and away the best. I think UFC has been a second. Then I think, depending, you can kind of get into the others. Like, have you guys noticed that, obviously? And do you have any concerns about what it's going to play out like? I mean, this is our national pastime, man. This is America's sport. This is the NFL. It's going to be weird without fans.
Adam?
I feel like they've got some decent plans for the broadcast in terms of not only noise, but also how the stadium could look. And by the way, like, a lot of stadiums are going to have people. Like, there's only a few that are going to be zero.
It's growing. I mean, it may look worse because it's so sparse.
Yeah.
5,700 people. What is it? Week 3 for the Broncos is going to look a little weird. And in 80, however big that stadium is, 75,000.
Yeah.
I think hockey has been the best.
Really?
What happened tonight who lost a stick? Did someone lose a stick just up on one of the tarps? And they're like, we can't get that. Just leave it there. Did you see that during the game? There was just a freaking stick on one of the tarps. I love those tarps because the gray of the tarps, like, to me, looks like fans because I can't see colors. My vision's not that sharp anyway. So I'm like, oh, those are fans. And I love all the banners and the screens around the NHL rink. I think the NBA did a pretty good job. I think baseball is the worst, but they really can't do anything about it. It's cavernous, which would, that might worry you. Should worry us about football. A lot of stadium to fill with something.
Yep.
It's gonna look weird. All right, we're gonna wrap it. Adam got up at 5:30 and he just got home at like 10:15. So busy day tomorrow. Adam's back on Cofield and Company. I'm excited. I'm going to try to fix this G-Damn Fantasy League. I will not give up. I will spend a full 10 minutes working on it. Mark, yes. Good night. Petro, I think, is back on tomorrow. 99% sure. So we'll see you. And again, make sure it does help us if you subscribe. I'll send out the links at Steve Cofield. If you subscribe to YouTube and to Spotify and iHeart, anytime you see the audio podcast, even if you don't go and listen, give it a click. But if you go to the site and at least subscribe or like, that does help us. So we'll see you tomorrow night at 10:30.